We found the very first Piggybanx collector ever, and he's bringing a bonus Knights reveal. And maybe he has insights into what's ahead for Piggybanx. We're here with Shane Stokes. Let's get this out of the way real quick, Shane. Rumor has you are collector 001 of Piggybanx. True or false?
That is true. That is true.
Tell us about it. Tell us how it started. Where are you from? What's your background? How did you get into collectibles? How are you possibly in this entire world 001?
That's another great question. Well, no collectible experience here, so that's what makes it extremely ironic. I guess actually I do have a piece of the Rockets court when they won their championship in 1994. So when they moved from the Summit to the Toyota Center, somebody gifted me a piece of the court signed by Hakeem, Clyde, Kenny, Sam Cassell, and Robert Ory. So
amazing.
Court of Dreams, got that. So that's probably that and a few Hakeem memorabilia, because Hakeem was my favorite player growing up. Won the title when I was 10. I'm 1984, so 40 plus here. But yeah, not a lot of collecting. More of a yoga zen guy, to be honest. But how it started, Brad was at a let's just refer to him as Mr. Banks, right?
Mr. Banks.
Mr. Banks was attending a wedding of that I was attending. He's actually an ex-colleague of my wife. They worked at the same company together, and yeah, he started talking about this idea. It was during COVID. He just started mentioning, this is in February of 2022. So really, I think he had already started in the bedroom making some pieces and didn't want to say anything. I think he lived with colleagues at the time too, so a few of the colleagues were kind of making fun of him, this guy's doing some weird stuff, making cards on his computer, and Brad's a sports guy, huge LA sports guy and stuff, so he just had that passion. But he mentioned it, and we were drinking, we were having fun at the wedding, and I was totally on board. I just wanted to know more. Me and Brad had kind of developed, I would say, an acquaintanceship, not really a true friendship at the time, but that night was really the thing. And oddly enough, one of the guys that he lived with at the time was extremely hammered. So we got to make fun of him and trying to bring a girl home. But we just started talking about Piggybanx, and I don't even think it was Piggybanx then, just about his concepts. And I agreed to buy a 4-piece set of Tiger Woods. He sent me a PayPal maybe 2 weeks later, and that was the beginning. I purchased it, and it was $500 for 4 pieces. So a hell of a deal in today's market, especially.
I can't even comprehend what you just said. Carry on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and at the time, obviously no value or anything of that. Just hey, I want to support somebody that's going and following a passion. So yeah, it's super cool to obviously look back and see that's kind of where my journey started. But obviously, I would say Mr. Banks had, he had some grandiose ideas. So
sure,
super cool.
So here you are as collector 001. You've got your 4 pieces, right? That you're setting on a shelf. The wife's probably looking at you. What are those first few months like, right? And what's the journey been like since? Talk to me about that evolution.
Yeah, well, the first few months, honestly, they definitely weren't on a shelf. They were, they came in this I guess Pelican-esque, gun case, right? With foam, very cheap. Funny because I just saw what some new packaging that'll be coming out. I don't know when, but I was like, God, these guys just continue to elevate. But yeah, early on, no, these things were just put away. So I bought 4, ended up buying, few more. Actually, my birthday was June. And so he made a couple pieces in April, actually, for my birthday, for my wife. My wife held them. So they had their private conversation. So those are my 2 Hakeem Olajuwon custom pieces that he made. So I had those 6, and then I actually probably got those around the same time because it took him a while. I mean, he was making these in his bedroom. So probably didn't even get the Tiger set until end of March, early April. And then the Hakeem set came after. Obviously, my wife surprised me on my birthday, so that was amazing. And that's when I started to get okay, I want some more. So actually, I met him at a colleague, an ex-colleague of his birthday party, a mutual friend at that point, right? And he had like 15 in the back of his car. I won't even say what car he is because I got in trouble for what car he drove when I mentioned it. But I was able to buy some more with cash then. So I just started accumulating, got up to about 35 to 40 money bands at a certain point. And I mean, I wasn't even like really in IG. I wasn't following, I was just supporting him personally. Like he didn't really have an IG following at the time. So yeah, just kind of buying them and just putting them in away. So yeah, my wife thought I was like, she's like, what are you doing? Like, stop buying. You have, what is that? $4,000, $5,000 at the time. She's like,
Sure.
what are you doing? You're lighting money on fire. For me, I thought they were actually really cool. And I just like, yeah, I went to sports card shops as a kid. It wasn't a passion of mine, but I did it. It was like a thing I did. And I kind of quickly got over it. I did, because I'm OCD, I did have like I guess you could say the binder, and I put them all in those little sheet cases, the plastic sheets, but I never had like nice acrylic cases. It just wasn't. So I never really got heavily into it, but I knew about it. So I was like, oh, these are like that on steroids, right? Many years later. So yeah, honestly, it was more like, dude, this is awesome. I'm supporting someone that like is really loving this. And these are, $100 here and there wasn't the end of the world.
Understood. So I joined the game, as you know. I met you somewhat early in my journey. I'm going to say 2-ish months ago, 2-3 months. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I run into you, and I know you from your IG handle originally, and the Sugar Shane, by the way, and as a Knight of the Round Table, right? And I had to dig up research. I was like, who's this Sugar Shane? And what does it mean to be a Knight of the Round Table? For those people that don't know, right, like I didn't 3 months ago, what is a Piggybanx Knight? What is it? What does it mean? When did you start that journey?
Yeah, that journey started, it started this year, right? So 2025. But the idea started probably the middle of last year. Mr. Banks had an idea that they were going to kind of make an exclusive club. I think one thing that Brad's always had in his head is that he wants us as collectors to feel part of something and be, this community, right? And I think speakeasies and making these kind of collector clubs, really is what he envisioned. And so this was kind of like planting the seed for that. And yeah, he wanted to kind of make something where, hey, these elite group of people, right, or these people that were willing to kind of bet on him, got X amount of pieces guaranteed for the year, right? And I think it was cool. He did a blind auction, so there was a lot of work that was put into it behind the scenes. I don't think they fully had, hey, this is exactly how it's going to be a full picture, because obviously, I mean, these guys are extremely busy, like every day in and day out. We can get into that another time, but they definitely, this was a side project. I think the project, has had some troubleshooting for them, right? I mean, just to have to make a piece every 2 weeks, like with everything else they're doing, it's actually demanding. And for an artist, they like to be free flowing. Like that's how Brad's brain works. Cody, awesome guys, right? Those are the two kind of collaborators on the art. So they're, they don't want to just be like, oh, every 2 weeks, like we're making a plan. They're on the fly. They're doing their thing. So, there's been some troubleshooting, but essentially the Knights are a group of people that did a blind auction, right? So essentially Piggybanx announced they were going to, hey, bid on this piece. We're going to do a blind ducks auction, which is where the highest bids, right? And they decided on 24, obviously, because Kobe Bryant and Brad's tied to him. They did 24. And then, I would say, and I didn't know I was going to be involved in this process. Honestly, I just kind of heard about it. I was like stoked on it, love Brad. Obviously, I'm at the studio quite a bit. So I was like, hey, this is awesome. Like, just love hearing about all their ideas, honestly. So then he told me like, hey, I'm going to make you Banks Caliber. And I was like, what, like, what is that? And he's like, you're going to kind of be you're going to be kind of like, you're going to have a seat at the table and you're going to kind of help me, navigate these guys and be kind of like someone to be somewhat of a concierge or an ambassador for the group, right? So yeah, blown away, extremely humbled by that nomination. So that's how I kind of came into play. And so I got a little bit more involved, like very much, I would say between December and the beginning of the year, the launch, maybe even in the middle of November, where I was going to be, they just kind of told me what was going on. So that was fun. And now, so basically, yeah, the ending bid was 15,000. They put it up. I think they gave everyone a week to like get their bids in. I think 15,000. Just above that was like the 24th piece. And so everyone that put in 15,000, I think there was like 2 to 3 people at the end that had the same bid. So they had a way that they, got the last night in, but everyone that bid above 15,000 became a knight. And so all they had to do initially was put in their deposit, which was 10%, I think, up front to put in that bid. And then they paid their fee. And then, yeah, the first piece that came out was Mr. Banks crown, and, heavy as the head, right? Amazing set, probably the most desirable set in Piggybanx right now. And I will say, when I got I was the alpha. I didn't know this was all part of their plan. So they don't tell me a lot of stuff, but they always have a way, the team always has a way of making you feel special. And that's, I think, why they're so successful. And so I got, the alpha, which that was my first alpha piece. Long story about my first alpha that I actually had and traded for a Kobe crown. So happy with what I have. But that was an interesting kind of finding out what an alpha was. But then I knew what an Alpha Banks crown was. So they blessed me with the alpha. There's a rotation that goes around. So that was just like icing on the cake. And so just been an amazing journey since. And the Knights group's great. We have our IG chat, great people. There's 25, and it's going well. And I think they're super excited. And it's really nice to have these guaranteed releases. I mean, I think for me, it's given me a lot of peace of mind, and it's super cool. And I hope they carry on the concept. Probably tweak it a little bit, but I hope they carry it on.
So let me pull the string, because you said a couple things there. One, you said the word nomination, which I'll pull on in a minute. And two, you said Mr. Banks, all respect, Mr. Banks has a way, and Tima has a way of making you feel special. I've been here for, like I said, I'm going to call it 3 months.
Okay.
And you know better than most, I'm all in and then some, right? I mean, here I am talking to you on a YouTube channel, right? Which my wife loves as well.
Yeah, I got that.
And, but already I feel part of the community, one, and that's respect to you and the others. And it's respect to Mr. Banks, right? Because Absolutely. I already feel a connection to the studio, even though I think I've literally shared 2 words with Mr. Banks. I think one time, like on an Instagram post I made, he was like, "Cool," right? Or something like that, right? But I don't have a direct line of comms like you do, and yet I still feel connected because I know that he knows what I'm interested in. I feel like if I ever to walk into a studio, and you have, I feel like there's just like a map that has each collector's name and like a photograph of them and their profile or persona. And he's like off there just, like the wizard, just checking off what people want and trying to get these grail pieces, people. It's unbelievable. Like, is this what you see when you walk in there? Because this is what I feel.
Yeah. Well, I'll just start with that, and then I'll get to the nominations, because I know you'd mentioned that two completely different things. But actually kind of I shouldn't say that. They kind of relate in different ways, and I'll get into that. But I mean, what they have done and how they have a pulse on collectors is truly remarkable. I mean, they have so many now. This has grown to be such a big thing, and a tribute to how they treated their initial collectors when it was a much smaller base is kind of trickled down. So now those collectors take it upon themselves to be vocal. You have Z-Blang, you have Farik, you have Chirub, you have, excuse me if I'm not listing your name. You have, Jason, I don't even know if these people want their names out. So you have just a ton of collectors, right, that are coming in, IG handles, and that really embrace this shared role of like ambassadorship and kind of helping people understand the game and feel welcome. And then at the same time, yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing in the community now is people rooting for each other, which I mean, it's a no brainer to me, right? I truly get more joy when watching to see what other people get than what I get myself. Like, and I'm unique in the sense that I love certain pieces, and probably what I love, a lot of people don't. I'm definitely more tied to, the Mr. Banks collection, the concept art that they could put their own IP on, right, directly from them, no people in. I love that stuff. It's amazing to me. I think the best is yet to come with that. But yeah, like the Pokemon, the One Piece, the Star Wars, the Marvel, right? All these, and a lot of guys have overlapping, right, with that. So I think it's super cool that people are coming together and like, hey, this isn't my piece, but really putting someone out there that would love to get that piece. And I think it trickles in, like people see the release. I think how they're doing it now with sneakers, it's kind of gives people time to like, oh yeah, you you have these communities, right? People are collabing. They're like, hey, I really want this. And I think the studio, to mention what you said, what they do so well is, they have lists. I don't know how intricate they are. I don't ask to see them. It's not my business, right? But they know, they keep track of everything. So they're a data company too. So they know what's happening and who's hit what. And they try to bless people in this new PMG. I always get it confused, PMG or PGM, whatever. The special variant movement, right, that is happening, and you're seeing them kind of come out. I just think it's incredible because, they're able to, surprise these old collectors or collectors that are really going ham in the secondary. They're really rewarding these people that and they're getting this advice from their original community, right, or people that they've gotten close with over time that maybe do have this relationship with the studio that have been around for 2 or 3 years, maybe even some guys 1 year. There's a mega collector that's a knight that, just every week he's posting a grail of some sort with a crazy variant. So yeah, you have all this going on. And I just think the big concept that I see is like what the studio did initially is now trickling down through those collectors, and now it's spreading. And then now everyone coming in, right? You have the Singapore Banks Mafia, like seeing that and like knowing that somebody that's not even, as active, right? Pal Goat collects. Hopefully he doesn't mind me throwing out his IG, but I mean, he's kind of like the original Singapore collector that I know. And I chatted with him a lot in the beginning. I know he's a big Mando, big MJ guy, but you just kind of know those things and it resonates. But he's kind of helped bring Piggybanx to Singapore, right? And it's just so cool to see that movement and all these guys. And then like I had no idea, until a month or two ago that there was that many pieces in Piggybanx pieces in Singapore that were like secondary bangers, right? So like obviously Brad's like, and the team's thought is like, yeah, we want to help these guys hit a couple for retail too, because they know the grind, they know how hard it is. So I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, and seeing all that happen. And so one of the cool perks to the Knights is, yes, you do get to nominate. So nominations are, and I think people are realizing, especially with this Iron Mando, that it's not easy. Allocation is tough. The team at Mr. Banks and all that have only a limited amount of pieces that they get to, 40 pieces that are made that they have to kind of figure out who these pieces are going to each release. And for the Knights, there's only 35 actually. There's only 2 specials, right? So there's only an alpha and a diamond that's in rotation, and those are with the Knights. So then there's 10 pieces allocated outside of that. And there's going to be 25 nominations, right? So 24 people, but I am 25th, right? So there's 25 nominations and only 10 pieces. So, 40% chance of your nomination getting selected. So it's very cool, like, to have that responsibility. So yeah, as Knights, they take it seriously and they want to get these pieces in the right hands, obviously to people that aren't going to go and sell them, but actually appreciate them. And now we've just grown to where like we'll never be able to just get the right 10 people, right? It's just so hard. And yeah, I mean, and there's limited pieces. So I mean, I think we get a little sense of what the studio's big struggle is and how hard it is to kind of manage what they're doing. But I would say now more than ever, they're doing an incredible job at blessing as many people as they can. And I call it a blessing because like getting selected versus buying in secondary is just night and day to your,
oh, it's for sure a blessing.
Bank account. You know,
it's for sure a blessing, and not only financial blessing. It's an experience blessing because it's completely different, right?
It is.
It's. I mean, I put out a video on it. The secondary receiving that piece and getting a piece direct from studio. I've been blessed to have one. Night and day.
Night and day. Yeah. And just being selected by the studio is just a feeling, right? You get that email and then yeah, you kind of like start rubbing your hands together. What variant am I going to get? I just think the way that they've done that, and that's something even early on, like Brad with his like, you know, I have one of the cases. I should have grabbed it. But anyways, I'll do show and tell maybe another time. But that like it's just crazy to see, like, even at the beginning, he tried to make it like he's always had this amazing he's wanted the presentation's been important to him. It's not just the piece, right? And I think
that's right.
That evolution has been cool to watch too. Not only the art evolution, but I think every day they focus on getting better as artists, getting better as you know, making this experience better for everyone, and just growing that community, and yeah, and giving them the service and all of that, right? Giving them that 5-star experience. And I don't think anyone even is, you know, remotely close, truly, like remotely close, which is awesome. And they've really, I mean, dude, they've been around for 3.5 years. Like, I mean, I say that, but like Brad has, and then it became Brad and Cody. And then, yeah, now it's, you know, it's a pretty big group of people. Pretty cool.
I'm going to put your ambassador skills to test here. You ready, Shane? All right. Ambassador skills. So the nomination process is a fun time for me because I sit and observe what's happening, right? And from my perspective, and you have a very different one. From my perspective, fresh on the block, I see this mountain of individuals emerge and swarm, right? Just swarm the knights, all begging for whatever piece. Now, I put out a video a little bit ago saying, hey, I have a lane. I'm in the lane. I have my own thoughts on EQL and whatever. I don't know. It probably got 2 views, but I got 100 messages on it. Okay. 2 views, 100 messages saying you need to go for everything, you know, screw your lane. And I won't. I respect my lane and I will not veer from it. Straight from the ambassador, Shane, what are your thoughts on the nomination process from that perspective, and lanes and how you go about EQL? There's not a right or wrong, but what's the ambassador's stance on this?
Yeah. I think for one, staying in your lane is key. I think there's 40 pieces. We have to continue to grow the base. So of those 40 pieces, you know, X amount of pieces need to probably go to new collectors. You got to test, you know, you can't just assume they're all going to go and sell. I think it's been great to see, you know, the initial secondary market take a little bit of a hit. So that way, hey, buying these in the secondary isn't as expensive. So good for people coming in that do want to add, you know, because you can't hit every release. But yeah, I mean, I think applying for every release, if you're new and you want pieces, right? I don't think there's any shame in that. Trying to trade, you know, get a piece and trade it. I don't think there's, you know, anything wrong with that. That's what equal is kind of for, right? Equal, hey, everybody shoot your shot. So I don't think there's a problem with that. I think obviously, once again, data. So, you know, I think those that stay in their lane might have a better chance of getting a blessing. But I mean, equals not really, you know, gonna be doing that, if that makes sense, right? So I think, like, you know, knowing if I'm new and I know, hey, I want to hit, you know, I want these pieces and I know I'm only going to hit X amount, right? A small percentage, then yeah, I'm probably going to apply for everything and hopes that if I get something that maybe is not in my lane, I can trade for something that is, you know, outside of or in my lane, right? So I would I would say like I could go both ways on that. I'm not gonna like hold someone to the fire if they're like clicking on every release, because I totally get it, right? I get that perspective. I also mad respect to people that only go for what they really want. And I think there's got to be somewhere some data where in some place where Mr. Banks is sitting behind smiling at those people, and probably blessings to come for those that really are part, because I think then you're participating in the growth process. You have the mindset of like, hey, I only want to collect what I want, and I want others to get what they want, right? A little bit more selfish mentality on, hey, I want all this so I can go trade. Also a scarcity mentality, and that's why I say it's not a bad thing. It's just like, yes, there are
Sure.
limited pieces, and I want to try to get something. So that's my take on that. And then as far as the nominations and the swarm effect, right? I mean, it's kind of weird because lately I've been encouraging it. I'm like kind of throwing out a teaser, right? Like, hey, I can't wait for my DMs to blow up. Yeah, I mean, I think because there's only 10 nominations, right? We don't even, 40 versus 10 is a big difference. In what we can do. And I only have one vote, right? And my
Sure.
one vote is, so I think it's just interesting, but it's exciting too, because yeah, I mean, I love to see everybody's enthusiasm to Piggybanks. It's not, I think I even put out an IG like, hey, be better with your nominations, a story. But it wasn't like a shot at anyone or like, oh, I'm upset. It's more like, hey, think about it, right? Here's food for thought. Like, I'm only really going to pick someone that this is their category. And even then, like, there's probably 15 people I know, maybe 20, maybe 30, depending on the category, that I know collect this passionately, and I can only pick one of them. So, like, if this isn't your category to start, like, you're already off the chopping blocks, right? If you already reached out to me on the previous release, which was Pokemon, and now you're hitting me for Star Wars, granted, I know there are people that collect both. So, and God bless you guys. But you're not going to get it. Like, I don't want the same person hitting me up every single release for a Knights nom, right? It's just not how, like, it's not what I want personally, right? Once again, my personal thought, I prefer for those that, hey, I've never gotten a Knights nom. I want you to I want to reach out and get this piece. I want to help you out. And that's the person I'm going to be drawn to, which I'm even going to be more drawn to if Kurt reaches out to me and says, dude, met this guy. I saw his collection. Man, all he can talk about is Mando. He cannot get those jump Mandos are, $25,000, $30,000 in the secondary, 50. I don't know how much they are. I don't have one either. But like but this is his chance to get one. Like, man, if you any way you can get it, and not to say I would pick him, but those are the messages that resonate with me. Like, okay, I like Kurt, man. This isn't in his lane, but he's reaching out and giving somebody some love. And I think in trying to help a collector that is in his lane, and I think that to me, and there's been a lot of that organically, and there, after I sent my post, there was a lot of people reaching out for their others. But once again, it's a tightrope, right? Because I'm not mad at anyone for wanting to collect all the Piggybanks pieces. Like, in fact, like, hey man, that's amazing that you love it all, and I think it's exciting. I just they have to also understand that, like, for one, they're not going to hit every release, and as we grow, it's going to be less and less. I mean, if you hit one a month, I would say in 2026, like, you're killing it, right? That's what makes the Knights group so
Absolutely,
right? Guaranteed to, like, sign me up, right? So anything outside of that for a night is like a huge blessing. Now, granted, they put in 15K, so that's a big bet on Piggybanks too, and I much respect to them. So once again, love that group. But yeah, it is, man. It's one of these things where, like, you can't get mad at people, but you're just also trying to create this environment where everyone is winning. And that's why anytime, my biggest theme song is "We All Win in Here," right? I don't even know who sings that, but I just love that because it resonates with me, and that's the attitude we all have to have. And I'm seeing it kind of trickle in versus, like, I think the worst attitude you can have is if you're an older collector, entitlement. Like, I don't ask for specials. To me, like, sometimes the special is not even better. I think the angel dust of the piece you have sitting behind you, that's beautiful. King of the City 01. that angel dust to me, hit so hard in that black label variant. I was like, God, that's the best one I've seen. And there was a lot of people posting the special variants. And so for me, like, I'm not as big of a special chaser. But I think it's really cool, and to see that everyone is getting these and embracing them, and these old guys have to understand that they're still going to get blessed time to time, but like it's not going to be like it was even a year ago, especially not 2 years ago, where like they're hitting a majority of the releases. The changes are coming, and be okay with that, and really just sit back and be grateful for what you have. And I think that's, if we can all do that together, right, then it's going to be better for everyone, because
100%.
at the end of the day, your value, if you're thinking about it from a value perspective, your value only grows with supply and demand, right? Hey, you need more demand. You need more collectors. If you're looking at it from like a stock market perspective, you need more money into this market. So let's add these people that can bring in more money, right? And once you already know, Kurt, once you get a taste of that experience directly from the studio, you're going to buy more. So
you're going to buy more. Hooked.
Like, everyone just needs to embrace these changes and understand that there's an amazing team behind this with a great plan, and they're executing. In my opinion, they're executing flawlessly. Yeah, is it ever going to be perfect for each individual collector in mind? No, because they're not tailoring the experience for you personally, right? They're doing it to make this better for everyone. And I think they're doing a phenomenal job, and I just love it, and I support it, and I get to hear some of the ideas even that don't come to fruition. And I mean, they're brilliant. They truly are. They have a brilliant team of people with amazing energy that really work their ass off every day. So like, I know you're saying it now, like the best is yet to come. You even see, you see people post when they don't hit, like, patience, right? My time is coming. Like, all this stuff is so true. Like, I don't just say it to just throw out flowers, right? Or like keep people engaged. Like, this is all, like, I get to see some things, very frequently. And there's always something new. And I literally pop in there, if not once a week, once every week, even when I'm busy, even just to say hi. Cause I mean, for one, I love being there. Like you said, you would sleep there, right? You'd have a tent.
I would. Yeah, I said that right before the recording. I was like, I'd sleep there.
But, yeah, you did. And I know there's other guys that would, pinch it to, I know collectors that are just diehard that would just love to be in there all the time. And I mean, I'm blessed to even have that access, and that the team sees me. And once again, it resonates with me. Like, I truly don't get any special perks other than like, I've been here, done this a while. I fall in line myself. I'm a firm believer in just the support, and then all the love I've gotten back just makes it very easy. Not just love from the studio. I will say community's been great. You personally have obviously, you just befriended me. I just love to see, I think, having the right people. And that's one thing the studio has been blessed with, is like, man, there's a lot of great people early on. And there's been a lot of great people over the last, 3 years that have come in, and even people daily, right, coming in that are just great people and just amazing collectors. And I mean, I just love to see it grow. And you're going to always have, maybe some bad seeds, but I've honestly, organically, they tend to weed themselves out, right? Because like, I think if you're not a part of this movement, and that's why even yesterday, I think I posted, or 2 days ago, hey, that Piggybanx is a movement, right? Like, it is, like, it's more than collecting. So it's been fun.
I befriended you, as you said. I didn't even know who you were, right? I just knew you were Sugar Shane, and I think we were talking about a piece. I can't remember how it started. And then organically through the conversation, I found out you're a knight, and I find out you're 001, and I'm like, what the heck, right? And but you're one of the most genuine people I've ever met, right? So I land on you as a Piggybanx collector. I land on you, and then stumble into the fact that you're a knight, and stumble into the fact that you're a collector 001. You're the most humble, genuine individual. I mean, there's no doubt why you're the ambassador. I appreciate your perspectives on everything as well. And even though I say I'll stay in my lane, Piggybanx, as I've said before, is the one artist team that I love every piece. The most recent night release. Okay. Insane. Did I want it? Yes. Did I ask anyone for a nomination? No. Right? Because it's not my lane, but every piece, I don't love Pokemon. I will never go for a Pokemon piece. Do I want all Piggybanx Pokemon pieces? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do. Right? And so it's amazing how he can spark interest where I otherwise don't have interest. He's done that across the board. Yeah. Do you know anything else about that recent night release? I heard you keep saying Mando and stuff like that. You got anything for us today, Shane?
Yeah. I mean, I might have to step off camera, but since you told me, and I actually, Hush Money is like more in my lane, so I'll go grab that. I'll actually do two things. Let me go get a knife cutter.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And we can go into this. This is a 5-piece. This is like what you get when you collect a set. So I consider this like, this is like the PBX Concepts set, right? So you have, first piece was it Lincoln Logs was the first piece. None Your Business, or I Saw That. I don't know exactly. These were all kind of around the same time, but I Saw That, right? So amazing piece there. Black Label, Lincoln Logs. A great collector traded me that. None Your Business, and then Mind Your Business, right? So just love these concepts. So, and then the greenie right there in this piece. So oil, like you can see like the drips of the oil. I mean, you can't do it here, but I mean, this is just such a unique piece. Anybody that got it, like congrats. I saw that Pink Sapphire special variant. One day I'll try to get that. But these are cool because once you get a set, you get these. I have this. I think I initially got this for some Kobe's that I had. But anyways, that's
Shane, I was so happy to see you get that, by the way. Can I tell you that? Man. I was so happy to see you get it. I think I messaged you almost instantly, like the second you put out a blessing and thank you. I'm like, I'm hyped. And then when I saw which variant you got, I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, and Angel Dust is always, I have a Storm Shooter set with all three, the American flag, the Storm Shooter, and then the just the basic. Like I have that in Angel Dust. I just think Angel Dust is nice. It's one of those variants that to me works with every piece. And so I've just always resonated with that. But here, so if you've ever gotten, these boxes are pretty big. So this is the 400 box, but I just want to show you, we're going to do it at night unveiling here. This is a big box. So this is, and I haven't seen this. So I haven't seen these with my eyes. One thing that I've shied away from is I don't go and see the art anymore. I used to be all excited and want to know what they were looking for, but I stay away because I like surprises too. And I like to see what they look like when I open. So here's the 400, and then God, this is so cool. I just love these. Like, somebody actually had mentioned it today. It's like Brad must really like Apple and the team because this is pretty freaking cool. I just collect different. So funny. I always throw out different. So not for resale. So super cool. And these are just amazing. But you got.
I don't know if I'm ready for this, Shane. I gotta be honest. I don't know. Like I asked for it. I don't know if I'm ready for it.
I don't know if I'm ready for it. I'll try to be quick with the unboxing here. So I'll put that ready. Oh man, I'm gonna see this 400 first because I don't think there's anything hiding it. Holy mother of God. Wow. And I mean, let me tell you, this resonates with what you said, right? Like I collect, and this piece, I collect, stuff that I would, I'm a sports guy, but like I actually resonate with these concepts because I just think that's what makes them like, it elevates them above the rest, right? Artists can throw Jordan, Kobe, Mando, but this is like the details in this 400 on this. So this is insane. So this is Angel Dust actually too. But, look at that. The glare.
I'll take it with a glare.
Yeah.
I like actually seeing my own reflection on the Mando piece. I feel like I'm part of Piggybanx piece right now.
These like in the armor here, this is a work of art and oh wow. Incredible, these guys. And the whole Iron Mando night, like obviously concept with this too, they hit it out of the park. I just love how simple this piece is too. Well,
that's about all of them, right? The level of detail, while maintaining a level of simplicity, they're just gorgeous, right? They're gorgeous to look. They're stunning.
gorgeous. And honestly, the detail, like the 50/50 Otani, like I'm fortunate to, Code is a great guy. And he does a lot of art, but he showed me a zoom in of like how he put it together. And there's details that even in 1,000 you might not be able to see. Like, and even though they know it's not going to show up in these hundreds, and by the way, I mean the hundreds, yeah, I mean it's just crazy. I mean these things are just gorgeous, dude. So here we go. I mean, yeah, I mean, and this is so clean in that angel dust, so it has that little shimmer, but
It's stunning.
God, I mean,
Stunning.
look at this. That's, I mean, that, I wouldn't tell my wife, but the best 42.50 I ever spent.
Right.
But yeah, and the packaging, and I mean, all of this is just phenomenal. And I mean, I think you'll continue to see that happen. But yeah, the details are amazing on all their pieces, and I would say every piece that you get, you if you could zoom in and see, like, there's going to be details that you never knew were there, and the team doesn't get kudos for that, but because they're married to what they do and they put in all this work, it's phenomenal. I mean, they love it. They're so proud of it. And yeah, I mean, I think as 1,000s come out, I think you will see things and pieces you haven't seen. Like, all the crowns have this amazing detail in them that it's, you have to really look in there on the hundreds. But I mean, you even probably get to the 400s and you'll see some more. So all that's so cool. And that's why I love this 100, 400, 1,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I have a magnifying glass, Shane. I don't know if you saw it in one of my videos. I brought out a magnifying glass on the pieces I own, and I see stuff I can't see with my naked eye, and I know I'm missing things. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Hang on.
Sorry. You don't need
I'm sorry that I'm speaking during this.
Yeah, sorry. There's my wall's really bare. Oh, there's the yoga mat I was talking about. But
it should be there. That is all you need on the wall.
That's the only thing. I can't even. Why am I not? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so that's a bad boy right there. That piece. And to me, when I think of what these guys are trying to do, and one of the things that Mr. Banks told me early on is that, like, he wants, and you had asked me, like, did I display them? And I didn't, because for one, the old ones, didn't even have like the phantom outer cases. Like, these outer cases, like, all I got initially was, this, right? And most of mine didn't even have like a rubber band. So sorry, I'm not wearing gloves. That's offensive, I know. I'll fix that. I'll clean all that up. But so there wasn't really a way to display. So I mean, I think also too, what you've been seeing with the packaging and everything continuing to elevate is, like, his vision is to be, hung up on the wall, right? That's why they made these cases that you can now, these ones that have if I can pull it out of here, have the little hooks, right? Hooks on the back. So you hang it on your wall. So, like, yeah, they want their art to be displayed. That's how they think of it. And, it's super cool. It's not to be go and thrown in your closet. That's why I have pieces over there. I have pieces, this 5-piece sets out. I have a couple onesies that I look at every day and then throw in the safe when I go to sleep. Cause they're not cheap, but it's, I mean, all of it, right? It's just, and I just see that it's continuing to, I mean, I'm blown away. Like I said, I mean, some of the things that they think about and like when they're thinking about, okay, what's the next step? Because they do everything so well now, but they're very aware that they just have to keep this charge, and like seeing it, like, and kind of having a behind the scenes look. It's like, yeah, I mean, and everyone that goes to the studio, and I will say, like, anyone that's reached out to me and, when they go and after they go, I call it, Jay, another great collector. I know he won't have a problem. The card collector. I mean, one of my favorite people. Shout out to him. He and his wife had a baby in May. So amazing. But that guy, very vocal, very awesome person. I met him, but just contagious human being. Me and him could talk on the phone for hours about Piggybanx, but just about anything. But when he went to the studio, he literally, like, hit me up. He's like, dude, I saw the light. So now we joke and, like, hey, somebody else saw the light. Cause truly, like, it's one thing to get all this collection but just to see that, like, not even the team and meet them, but just know what they are cooking. And that's why I always say, like, they are cooking, like what we're getting today is not even what they're looking at. That's like this is old news. Like, and that's what's crazy. It's like,
Sure.
so, I mean, for me, it's such an easy team to follow. And like, I couldn't be more excited at where it's going. And for my biggest mission now, just as a collector, is, yeah, just to get the word out, but also just for everyone that's collecting to have a great experience, and just continue to have that trickle down and excitement for others. And, I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds kind of basic and corny, but like that's what it is for me. Like, I mean, in all honesty, the team itself, like, they're probably doing just fine. Like, they have enough, I would say, people hitting, and collectors, right? That I would even say they have clients, right? So they're doing fine. But I think it's awesome that they're still so focused on growing this community and base. Like, it makes the average guy, feel like they got a chance. So seeing these, the movement of these special variants, the PMGs, whatever they're called, or even the gold records, or like, God, like that transparency I got. I mean, whoa, birthday gift, like, mind blowing. I mean, it's just like, you're just stunned. And like, yeah, I mean, I just say this, Kurt, like, I would be stupid if I was not doing what I'm doing every day. And like, the team owes me nothing. Like, I enjoy going out and being, part of this. So, super grateful.
Yeah. I mean, you're a one-on-one though. I mean, we talk about one-on-ones, you're a one-on-one, Shane. That energy you have is contagious. That mentality you have, like you said, is contagious. It's healthy for the community. I respect it. I'm going to ask you one or two more things and
Sure.
get you on your way. I have a feeling you're not going to be a one-time visitor on this channel. I'd be doing myself a disservice if that were the case.
You're the man.
But what do you see the future journey like for yourself with Piggybanx? And since you've teased us so many times, is there a real teaser you could give us? I mean, having been in that studio, I think weekly, something you've seen, you wet the palate with a bit. Talk to us, Shane.
All right. Let me think about the second one while I talk about the first one. Yeah, I mean, my journey is exactly kind of what I just said. I just intend to keep collecting. I will say, being a knight is expensive because I want the 400 of everything. So I'll probably slow down on like going ham, but I do love the 400s. I don't think there's really a market for them yet. I think I like a healthy big, like, where people are like selling them for a lot or whatever. So it's not like I buy it because I love it. I think the size is great. It's cool. Comics, definitely not a comic guy. Never was into Marvels, but I think it's cool that now I have some comics. They're just Piggybanx comics. I love the presentation. I think it's awesome. So for the right pieces, I'll get those. My favorite is still my Angel Dust, not an NFT. Just a phenomenal work of art. And yeah, I'm just going to keep doing that. Like, I think I will never stop trying to get the pieces that really speak to me. And I think knowing that in the run of bangers they've been on, or heaters, whatever, everybody calls them different things, but just the quality of art lately has just been out of this world. So it's easy. Like, out of all the ones that have come out, like, I mean, like, yeah, I went ham to get a King of a City, MJ, right? And then I didn't even submit for the Otani, like, because as much as I would love to have a set, like, I just know it's not in the cards for me. Like, I know it's going to get more expensive. I've already kind of, last year was my big year buying a lot of older pieces that I didn't get, or trading or whatever, and buying pieces in sets that I really wanted. So I kind of feel like, yeah, I mean, I have a very healthy collection and I don't need to go crazy, but I definitely don't want to get rid of a lot of older stuff. So I'm going to just keep kind of going in and making my moves and buying what I can. And yeah, just more being there as a support to being a part of it. Right. And, I left a lot of the IG groups because for a while there, it can be a lot and just time consuming, sometimes toxic, but I know there's a lot of great people in there. Right. And, kind of doing what I call the Lord's work, right? They're just putting in, doing what you're doing with this podcast and just spreading the word and just having positivity and doing great things for Piggybanx in the community. So I just want to keep up that journey. You know, I won't be the ambassador of the Knights, so I won't have this like official role, but you know, in my mind and my heart, I'll always, you know, I'm rooting for these guys, and you know, I could never get another piece again, and I probably won't go anywhere. Like, that's just the truth. I want to see this through for them. I want to help out in any way I can, and yeah, I'm just a huge fan, and I think I get so excited just seeing everyone. I think that the positivity and the mindset and the community has never been stronger, better, and full of life. So that's important. Yeah, I mean, I got to be careful about what I say for the next second question.
I know I put you on the spot. Let me slide one in. I'm going to buy you more time because that's the kind of guy I am, Shane.
Okay.
Slide one in. What should people know about Mr. Banks and team that you already haven't covered? Right, he's this mythical, like I said, he's the man behind the curtain, right? Like I said, with the checklist and the blessings, right? So he's this godlike, mythical being, right? That is a creative genius.
Yes.
But what do you think people watching this should know about Mr. Banks and team that they probably don't?
Man, well, yeah, he is omniscient and omnipotent. Yeah, brilliant. Guy, you know, I'll tell you, he's humble. He's very humble. And I mean, I think this ascension over the last year has, you know, cause I knew him before this. And like I said, through kind of Piggybanx, we really connected. He was very excited to have somebody to share it with early on. And I just thought it was awesome and cool. And like, you know, seeing this guy put in the effort, energy, time, hustle, and like get it to where we are. And even though he's obviously adjusted, his, you know, his life's changed, right? I mean, obviously he's Mr. Banks now, you know, it's funny because that's what I call him, and my wife does too. But he's still got that, you know, starting from zero mentality. Like, hey, I'm still the guy going to shows, trying to feed my art. Like, no, that's not, like, he knows he's obviously not there anymore. But I mean, the way that his brain is working and the creative and like kind of keeping that company moving, I think that's the most impressive thing. And that's why I say, like, there's not a guy behind the scenes like counting his successes or like, you know, oh, I made it. You know, so that
I think he displays that with his pace of innovation.
Yeah,
the pace of innovation coming out of that shot. We talked about it briefly before the show, right? That imitation's, you know, the best form of flattery.
Yeah,
other artists are doing what he's doing, but like you said,
keep up.
He's releasing older stuff, right? No. They're already 40 steps ahead when you talk about think different, like Apple style, right? Like, I believe Apple's working on the iPhone long before, right? It sees the light of day. So then 100%. They're already on to the next thing when it's released. What I see coming out from Piggybanx, again, from ignorant me all the way over in the DC metro area, right? I can't even sniff that studio. is I see a pace of innovation that's unmatched. And that, to me, speaks to a hunger and that humbleness that you're speaking of.
Yeah.
Is that on par?
Yeah. And, you know, he's a fun guy. Like, he loves sports. You know, I'm actually blown away, like, how much he knows about. I was actually surprised, like, he knows so much about Marvel, like One Piece, Pokemon. I mean, I don't know if this was adopted as he, you know, as an artist to be able to kind of like cross over to all these different sectors, right? But I mean, yeah, he's I mean, he and I truly, like, when you go to that studio, the vibe is awesome. So I think I'm very impressed with him as a businessman. But just that he brings it every day, and I love that, and love to see that it's continued and not much has changed, and yeah, I mean, him as a person, like, I don't want to get too much in it, but yeah, he's just a great guy. That's like, you know, he's just you know, Mr. Banks, but I mean, he's in his mind, he's just, you know, he's loving it, he's enjoying it just like we are, right? Like, I mean, sure. I don't think he really truly was like, oh, this is gonna explode like it did. You know, I think he'd be lying if he said that. So, and I don't think he would say that, but he's enjoying it. I think it's fun. Yeah, and I mean, what's coming out? So like,
I bought you a lot of time there, Shane.
yeah,
I bought you a lot of time.
So there will be a new, a very big change in collecting these pieces, and it might happen before the end of the year. It might not, but I mean, there's going to be a huge element changing, and it's going to be exciting, and it's a big add-on bonus, and I'm excited. I can't, if I give anything on top of that, but I mean, there will be a major change, and I love it, and I think it's amazing. So yeah, I mean, and I think like variants and stuff like that. I mean, I think seeing that phantom and the transparency, right? I mean, I'm sure, and I don't want to even know, right? Because I'd rather just kind of find out. Like, I don't get into the weeds of their R&D and stuff, but it's nonstop, man. And I think yeah, the packaging, all that, just wait. I mean, it's there's just so much good to come. So much good to come.
Excited to see it. Thrilled to have you on, Collector 001, nicest guy I know in the community, and that's no disrespect to anybody else. Like you said, you're just a genuine guy. I love talking to you. I'd love to have you back on the show. Thanks for sharing your piece with us. Thanks for sharing the story. Thanks for guiding the community in the right direction. And thanks for just being a good human being. Next time you see Mr. Banks, tell him I said hello. I can't make it out to the studio. Tell him I wish I could sleep there, like I said.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt, thanks so much for having me on. Thanks for the invite. Humbled, man. And yeah, thanks for just hopping in right now. And I mean, your energy is contagious. And I think the more that, you're doing what you're doing and everybody just does their part, I think it's just going to help tremendously. So I mean, it's not just me, I appreciate all the accolades, but there's so many guys that, I could rattle off, if we had the time, and just like, hey, I even tell you the story about them. So all those people, man, kudos to them. Kudos to all the OGs. Kudos to all the people that have brought people in and then, supporting, and then kudos to all the adjustments for like how things change, like Equal, and just seeing how quickly people are to adapt and understand that, hey, we're on this journey together, and might not love everything, but we're going to trust in the process. So awesome, man. And thank you so much for having me on. Yeah. Great hour to be a part of this. And I can't wait to watch your next episodes too. Not this one, but whoever comes on next, man. A lot of great people out there.
You're going to watch this one. Collector 001, first one in the Collector Vault. All love to you, Shane. All love to Piggybanx. And like you said, all love to the community. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kurt.
Until next time, stay sharp, chase smart.